Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we are talking about the short swaps that are trapped, 420 asking price, how AMC will boom, and many more in this video. Firstly, let's take a look at this. AMC swap data reveals that after June 2021 run-up, there were 217 million plus total return swaps entered into that haven't expired yet, combining the highs and lows to meet in the middle at average price of $35. So these are looking at the TRS, the total return swaps of AMC, which by the way has existed since 2021. So when we talk about shorts are still trapped in this, when we talked about shorts haven't covered, the very fact that there are these swaps should be the indication of course, that is happening. Now, another thing to take away from this is about understanding where the average price is at. Bear in mind, this isn't saying that all swaps are priced in at 35. We're obviously talking about the average. We're taking in the highs and lows. So this is just coming in at the average price. But it's very important to understand, if these swaps were priced at $20 or $35, then that would mean that shorts are, of course, making money. And the question you got to ask yourself is, if they have short positions at $35 and we're looking at AMC at $268, they are already in profit by a large margin. Why would they not sell these swaps? Why would they not cover these positions? Why do they still let it go on to where we are right now, 4 years later, and will continue to go on until someone obviously has to cover them? If they have already made so much money, if they have the ability to cover these swaps, to cover these shorts, why haven't they done so already? And so that goes on to why we've always said how we understand that these short sellers are trapped in these play. Now remember that this is just some swaps, a small portion of the swaps that we have talked about. We have uncovered most of these in the past before, but this is just a new set of data that's been given out, and it's just about understanding that these swaps have existed since 2021, and it's just the understanding that shorts are of course still trapped. Shorts have created too much, and that's why they've been trying to suppress the price. And you can see another reason for why they want to do this. You can see Ken Griffin wanted to acquire AMC theaters like he acquired the Spirit Airlines. Sorry, Kenny, AMC is owned by the people. So a big reason for why these swaps are still here, why they've kept it going, is because they know they just can't cover it as simple as that. They know that the moment they start covering, it will of course cause a squeeze. So we talked about the way for them to get out of this is obviously for AMC to go bankrupt and no longer listed, and then they can get out of these positions. And you can see that what they've done, and recently, for those of you who don't know, Ken Griffin, Citadel obviously acquired Spirit Airlines, and we talked about how that's essentially what they wanted to do with AMC. And you can see in terms of the intent behind these short sellers. And so in the past, when we saw all of these news trying to make you sell your AMC shares, trying to make you think that AMC was going to go bankrupt, this was the reason why. And we're starting to see it all unfold right now. You can see how Adam Aaron is extremely confident in AMC. AMC will announce Q1 2025 earnings on Wednesday, May 7th at 5 p.m. You can listen to our quarterly webcast on it. You might hear about the booming April domestic industry box office, roughly double last year's April numbers. The April info is public now. So this is where we are at. If we want to talk about a good fundamentals, a good earnings for AMC, well, here it is. Now, obviously, we are going to be taking a look at the earnings when it does come out and obviously talk about it. But it's about understanding when you see these news saying that AMC is going to go bankrupt, but then you actually do your own due diligence and you actually do your own research, you'll know that AMC is in a position way better than before. In fact, better than ever. We're seeing how they are able to make more money with the same box office. Not to mention the box office is increasing. We're seeing how they're making record EBITDA. We're seeing how they're making record attendances, record sales. So all of that is just showing how AMC is improving, and is why shorts want to buy into AMC right now, but can't, and is trying to make you sell your shares. Furthermore, you can look at some other people. AMC is booming, will be a great earning. So if you want to understand in terms of what and how the retail is feeling, well, this is what they are saying. You can even see AMC Entertainment is set to dominate the summer box office with epic blockbusters. CEO Adam Aron's pumping up the season, and fans are flocking to theaters for that big screen magic. With AMC stock at just $269, it's a screaming buying opportunity for investors ready to ride the wave of a packed cinema comeback. So we just seen how Adam Aron has said that the booming April domestic box office. What we also have said in the past and seen in the past is how Adam Aron has highlighted how this summer will be a very good season. So overall, what you can expect is the fundamentals, the earnings for all around this year, not just Q1, not just Q2, but including Q3 and Q4, is all going to be exceptional for AMC. And is why we've seen multiple people, and not just the retail, but of course retail included, along with institutional investors, that they understand the opportunity there is right now. They understand the potential there is with AMC, and hence why we've been seeing retail ownership going up. Hence why we've been seeing institutional ownership going up. And that's why we've also seen the amount of news in terms of making you sell your AMC shares increase as well, because they understand it's becoming more and more scarce to buy AMC shares. And they also know that it's costing them more and more to create these AMC synthetics, knowing the fact they still have swaps from 2021 in which they haven't covered. And then you can take a look at this. LOL, the current ask on GameStop is 420.69. You cannot make this stuff up. Well, we're obviously taking a look at this. You guys can see the 420.69 ask. And this is what we're seeing. Like I said, every time you see these, if people want to make market off as glitches, that you're always seeing it on AMC, you're always seeing it on GME. And we've said it's becoming to a point where these can't be regarded as glitches anymore. We know things that have happened. We know, what's going on in the back. We've seen the amount of dark pools there is to suppress AMC, to suppress GME. We know about these OTC trades done from institutions to institutions. And so when we do see this price of 420, we understand what's happening in the market right now. Like we have mentioned and shown in the past before, we've seen how AMC shares has been sold for 4 digits. We're seeing how people have sold their shares of AMC, of GME for a large amount. And just like what we are seeing right now is very likely to be the same. The difference is it's done by institutions to institutions. But like we've said, the very fact that they are willing to be paying this amount shows that they are of course trapped, that they are in need of AMC and GME shares, but it's just that they don't want to easily give up. You can see old looks shorts are back at it again, setting new records for denial. Only 81,000 total volume, and yet they managed to push 1.26 million short shares today. That's not bearish, that's desperation in trench coat. Short volume ratio 1,544%. That's not hedging, that's hope and cope. Where we're taking a look at the short volume, over 1,500%. Now, we've just talked about the 420 ask price for GME, and we're seeing the short in volume at 1,500%. Now, this should already give you a lot of highlighting in terms of what is happening in the market, about why we are seeing this happening. The very fact that these prices are getting out of hand for the short sellers, knowing that they have to pay hundreds of billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars, to buy back AMC, to buy back GME, they're obviously trying to suppress it. So whilst they're spending a high price buying GME shares, in the meantime, all whilst still trying to obviously suppress AMC and GME, and that's what they are doing. And you can see another example of this, but obviously for a smaller stock, but the desperation from these shorts. And it's why we talked about how these shorts are not in a good position. Float is 880,000 shares. So how do 44.5 million shares trade today? Can we find a regulator or any reporter who is curious yet? Where we've seen this particular stock seeing, again, float is only 880,000, yet we're seeing volume of 32 million. Now that's obviously an insane amount, but that's just to show you what is happening in the market in terms of the synthetic shares that are obviously existing. But you can see is that they try to do this all the time. Normally, they can get away with it because they've done so with so many times. But when it comes to AMC and GME, they're obviously not able to do so. Again, highlighting back to the swaps that we talked about at the very start. And you can see why this is a massive, massive piece of data. It's just highlighting how shorts are trapped. Shorts have not made any money, because if they had made money, they would have covered these. Is the very fact that they can't cover and that they're trying to push AMC to bankruptcy. Or they're trying to make every retail investor sell their AMC shares. And once it becomes fully institutional owned, then they'll obviously find a way to, of course, solve it. But that's never going to be the case because retail have bought it up. As always, none of this is financial advice, so do take out a second of so much to do your own due diligence and research. But thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.